Off to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. I hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah day.
Hey! There I am. We're back. It's a new weekend full of new possibilities. Look how clean lots of stuff is. We did have the rough-in electrical inspection. I basically contacted and said I was willing to pay if he could just okay my walls, and he said, we'll just do the whole rough-in since we're almost all the way done anyways. So that's taken place. We passed. We have a few circuits left, but we passed, so I have, which I thought was pretty darn, pretty darn nice of the guy. I have to fix some things. He was very, very adamant that all the wires needed to be completely centered. So there's a bunch of restapling that'll have to take place. They're not arc fault, so there's $1,000 worth of circuit breakers that have to be bought. Yay. Our main disconnect switch isn't gonna work. I couldn't be here, so Danny was here, so the questions I would have asked weren't the questions she knew to ask. Anyways, it kind of almost sounds like the reason he wants us to switch it is it'll be more convenient for us later. It's hard to tell, but I know that stuff happens with electrical inspections. Either way, he was pretty cool, and okay, I'll switch the switch. What else? That was really about it. That was really about it. So in my mind, if the main complaint is wire centered and the non-arc fault breakers, which we'd figured out before he got here, but at the time I didn't realize I was putting in the wrong ones. I think we did okay. I mean, really, that's the issue. That's the only issue. He was pretty cool. He wrote some notes in our little copy of the electrical handbooks for us. He walked Danny through. Oh, and I have the Romex connectors. Can't find any right now. The Romex connectors where the wires come through the box. He says I've got all those too tight, so I need to. And he set 2 in the kitchen so that I could go to that and base it off of that height right there. Apparently there's a leak, and a relatively substantial one by the looks of it there. So hard to say where it's coming down through because the rock wool's up right now. That's okay. One nice thing about the rock wool is it completely impervious to water. I could throw one of those under some rocks in the river, leave it for a day, take the rocks off, give her a shake, hike on up to the house and stick it up. But still, metal is ordered, roof is coming. Well, I got like Muppet hair today. Yeah, so I do have the permission to put the stuff up. I need to pull the staples on this bit of wiring here and move it to the top side of the stud. Sorry, yeah, top side of the cord, and then staple back down, and we're good to go. So I'm going to spend my time today, tomorrow, the next day, probably the day after that, putting up the insulation. We no longer have either of the 2 wood stoves. One is now in pride of place in the neighbor's backyard as part of their flower pot fire ring decorations, and the other one is down in the blasting shed down below. So yeah, that would be my goal, is to just work on putting this up. I got a new idea on the wires. If so, I'll have to update the last video. But when I was explaining the problems to Dad, I suddenly had a brainstorm, the act of talking it out with someone. So I'll give that a try. But this has been a long dang intro. So, electrical, pass. Mostly. Our problems, in my mind, hey, we must have done an okay job. We've got some more money to spend on breakers, and I can put up insulation as long as I move over the wires. Okay. Jesus. Hours. The first run is up. I've got double layered all the way up to the top. Instead of following the rafters, I'm going to drop to the flat ceiling, because I calculated it's going to save me 3, 4, 5 bundles of insulation, so a couple $100. It's a little slower because you got to cut and jig and jog and whatnot, but $500, $500. So that's all through. My ideas for the metal strips, yeah, they didn't work. So what I thought I could do is put the rock wool up in there and run a slice about 1 inch deep, one side to another, and that way when these things bow, slips up inside that there slice, and then these things can't just flop over and drop. But they did it anyways. Then I tried drilling a hole on either side, slipping them into the hole. Same thing. Once more, I don't know. Certainly if I was down in the basement, I wouldn't be using those things at all. There's no way that the pressure can get behind the rock wool and push. But this is all open, and will be for a long time. So I have put up the board and bat, as you can see, so that when that wind pressure gets up on top and pushes down on that massive span of surface area, it just doesn't drop out like Minecraft. I also went up on top, and at this point I'm never going to guarantee I fixed any of the leaks, but looks like I must have pivoted my boot on top of a particularly vulnerable piece of the zip system tape. Anyways, there was a dime size hole that had been torn in it, and it was in the wrong spot where the water was going down and collecting against a ridge line of tape and funneling it. So I couldn't figure out, that's a hell of a lot bigger leak than we've had in months. But now it all makes sense to me. So I believe I've got her fixed. I'm just milling up scraps on the table saw, and I go up 2. I lay in the first sheet because I lean over from the other side, and I go up 2, and I go up 2, and so on and so forth until we're all the way at the top. Up there, there's going to be some jigging and some jogging, but I won't have this extra wide base span here to deal with. And so that's just got the 2 pieces on top of each other, the R60, where the other rafter rises above them. I have a piece of R30 laid vertical, and I bent up those wires and I just jammed it through and bent them over so I have a mechanical seal there. And then on the 2x4 bays, just where there's this, it don't matter, I put up some R15 1 strip wide, so that at no point is there just straight open air passage all the way up through. But it wouldn't stay up there, so I had to staple up that bag, and that's what I'm using to hold it in place. So yeah, after many hours, I'm hoping I've got this figured out. Otherwise, a grand total working by yourself all day long, I think I'm looking at 4 full bays. 4. this at over a week's work. So I don't know how the professionals do it. It must be, well, I know they have helpers. So maybe some of my helpers will show up here eventually. When I get out on the main floor, I'll have the added benefit of having to move all that treasure, and then I'll be on the bigger set of scaffoldings, which I hope will work okay because I can stockpile insulation on the small set and then use planks and ferry it back over, because it's the up-down. Working off the baker, I can only put 3 pieces up there, so it's the up-down that takes so much time. I'm feeling very whiny right now. Very whiny. I hear there are people out there that hire folks to do stuff like that. How's that work? Might have to look into it. It's 5. Been here 9 hours. Eight hours. I got here at 9. It's 5. You want to see what I got done? Three. It's just so incredibly, breathtakingly, painfully slow. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think I'm stupid slow compared to, you know, what this should normally take. But, oh, God. But here we are. I remain very enamored with rockwool on the walls. I am way less enamored with the idea of rockwool in the ceilings. There's some gaps that I'm going to have to get up and poke and prod and whatnot. Continue to use the battens on the idea that hopefully those wind gusts. See, that's where I ripped a chunk out with my hand. Where the idea that those wind gusts can't push it down. I suspect in my calculations I missed a bay somehow. It's the only thing I can think of. I must have missed one of these 3, because there are three different insulation types on that far side over there. I had to have. It's the only thing I can think of. But nonetheless, it is fun hearing this get slowly quieter and quieter. We had some rain drumming on it earlier, and it was pretty apparent then. But like I said, from the wall to where the pitch changes, it goes pretty fast. From that point that way, it probably takes as long to do that section right there as it does these entire sections through here. Nonetheless, we're a third of the way across. As you can tell by the lack of illumination, another day has gone by, and this is the result. I think I predicted 4, didn't I? I predicted 4. It is what it is. Dawn of a new day. 8 o'clock. I'm done. I got 5. 5 bays done today. Oh man. Tell you what, it's interesting. It's changed the tone and timbre of the place. There was never much of a noticeable echo before, but there's nothing now. It also has pretty much stopped the wind blowing through it. I get a little breeze coming through up there, but obviously tomorrow, Sunday, I got to take off in the middle of it for my vaccine, and then
you know, I gotta go back to work on my Sundays, so I'll be very surprised if I get hardly anything done here. Tired. My legs are tired from coming up and down and up and down and up and down. But it definitely speeds it up on the chance, or the times rather, when I can stockpile a bunch of insulation. I'm down to 4 pallets. So I'll be down to 3.5 pallets maybe by the time I'm done here. Maybe 2. Anyways, like I said, I screwed it up there. That wasn't supposed to be R60. That was supposed to be R45. But I also still think maybe I didn't count a run here or something. The only potential saving grace is this run is flat, right? So it's going to save me a bundle or 2 to do that one flat. Anyways, I'm pretty tired. I have been listening to a very nice audiobook, Fatal Dive, the story of the USS Grunion, and the guys that went and found her. Anyways, it's on Audible right now and it's free, so if you're a history buff, you'll like Fatal Dive. I'm out. I don't know if you'll see me tomorrow or not, but I'm out. I need a haircut, but I'm back. That's where we are. I do enjoy the slow change in sounds. However, I happen to be of the 5 out of 4 people that have trouble with fractions. Because yesterday when I said I got 4 pallets left. Now, I got a fraction of that. So, 3 pallets left. This is my door latch. That crap's tough. Fiberglass reinforced. Barely cut it. Just can't think of anything to do with it. So we're definitely back here. My goal this morning was to hook up the old trailer we used to maintain the road for the the big army truck tours, and they did a road sweeping crew and dumped all the grit in one of the wide pullouts. So I figured I'd get in there and snag some of it before the road crew came and dusted it off with a road grader. But I can't get the hitch out of the bumper of the brown turd. I didn't work on it very hard. I got more important things to do. But I was going to go steal that and dump it in my roadway, but instead I am here. And I'm only here for a little while because at 1:20 I got to roll out for my vaccine. But I'll get some of this stuff done. Maybe get two bays of it done. That'd be a nice addition there. Get up there and do it, you idiot. Alright, that's it. It's 12:30. I don't have time to start another run. I got 2 complete ones done, which means they went a lot faster than they were going yesterday. So I guess that means yesterday I was being a lazy lump of crap or something. At that pace I should only get 6 done if I was working as late today. But I got 2. 2's better than nothing. Again, it's delightful to hear the sound change. I still have an issue. I got to sort of figure out that far wall. It's got to be plasticked in a way to try to keep the heat from rising. The rockwool is better than fiberglass as far as heat rising through it, but it's not perfect. Yeah, see, any radiant heat that passes through that wall is going to want to rise up through, so I need to find a way to cap it. I think capping it on that run, not too hard, but where it flattens out over here, it's quite a bit different than where it flattened out up there. So I'll have to do some head scratching and whatnot and see if I can get it figured out. Either way, that's it for today. It for a weekend. No idea when the roof's supposed to come. I got an email from Home Depot that one of the tubs arrived, except the order was doubled somehow. There are 2 of them sitting in Kalispell. I'll have to go pick them up with the trailer, and then I can just select the best one and tell them send the other one back. And if they get too grumpy about it, I'll remind them that I just purchased over $4,000 worth of bathroom fixtures, and by God, they can take one back. But yeah, that's it. See you in a bit.